Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You are watching the Kaiser Report. We have a few things to talk to you about today, and we're going to keep it short and simple as we see the stock market rebounding from the losses that it experienced overnight in the anticipation of not having the proper deal with China that we did get in most cases. Last evening, he is on his way home. He's on Air Force One and has talked to the public through the press on Air Force One and let us know what took place with Xi Jinping in the meeting yesterday that I believe, in my estimation, went very well. There was no real talk on his part yet about what the deal is going to be with TikTok, but I am sure that that was discussed, and there is something underway there in that particular instance that we need to talk about. But I believe that the greatest accomplishment of all of the Pacific Rim meetings was the fact that our farmers are going to be bailed out with regard to the soybean crops and other crops that they cut a deal on at the table yesterday that has been signed and is underway. Applaud that for the farmers who have been very worried about crops going to spoil that had no buyers for them, and in the metric tons that they have agreed to buy in this year's production, it's going to look very good for them. He's coming home now with all the cards. One more time, and the respect of the entire Pacific Rim. And if only our Democratic Party could show some modicum of respect for this president that has done so much in 9 to 10 months of his second term, it would be wonderful, wouldn't it, folks, if we could put an end to this Schumer shutdown. But they're turning right and left on Schumer now. And the Democrats are even now beginning to believe that they may have made a mistake in listening to him. They forgot that the internet is forever. You can call people Hitler and then deny it later on, but it's right there in front of your eyes. It's almost a crime that the Democrats are savagely turning on Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries now, who continues to go on to mainstream media and lie every day about the shutdown and whose fault it really is. They called him Hitler. Like we don't remember, or the internet is not available to us to hear them do that. But again, they lie and say, we never called him that. Pritzker is out there saying that. Hakeem Jeffries has said it. We know and have heard, and it's documented. Along with Jasmine Crockett and a host of others, including Nancy Pelosi, have uttered that word. So to deny it now in the hopes of someone on the right-hand side caving in on the Schumer shutdown is definitely a mistake, a bad mistake. It is the advent of Halloween. It is going to be the eve of All Hallows tomorrow. Today's the 30th day of this shutdown, and the 31st will be the eve of All Hallows, where the Democrats are still reluctant to try and open this government so we can pay the people that they decry all the time about caring so much about. Yet, they're going to let air traffic controllers, our military, and other essential employees go without a paycheck going into Halloween. Why? Because Schumer wants to break his own record and go down in history as the lout that he really is. He's never done anything for New York, and now they're all behind Mandani, who wants to continue the socialization of New York and bring it to the ruin that most of the communist countries have experienced throughout history. Communist China is worried. Their economy is not as great as everyone thinks it is. We have trade deals now. We have the tariffs settled down between China and the United States on several avenues. The mineral rights and the mineral purchases needed to bring this AI to fruition has been settled. Peace around the nations that were at war, with the exception of Korea and North Korea and Ukraine and Russia, which are underway to be settled in their own right. We've had peace agreements one after another, and if we would allow this president to do what he said he will do, it will be done. Get off the fact that he's changing the East Wing of the White House. It's almost funny to watch how he can accomplish these feats while being held back by Obama judges, Biden judges, and an entire left side of the aisle. It's no wonder they played the theme of Rocky for him in the Pacific Rim. I hope that all of your children that are going out tomorrow for trick or treat will be safe. And please, we'll make sure that they have their goods inspected by you before you let them have at it. Because there are a lot of strange people out there that will do things that we, growing up, would never have thought to do. So let's take a look at how they forgot what the internet holds.
These are evil people. These are sick, evil people.
Yeah, I do want to, separate myself from the idea that I'm calling him
from
Hitler.
JD Vance.
Well, I definitely want to separate myself from him, and from the idea that that I'm not suggesting. I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say.
I don't think any Democrat has. I actually. And I think it's a smear that they project back on to critics.
Excuse me?
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say.
I don't think any Democrat has.
Are you shitting me?
They understand the importance of standing for what democracy is and making sure that it does not fall by the wayside. They understand that we have a Timu Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States. Well, I got another thing to tell you, sir.
Donald Trump speaks about immigrants with the same rhetoric that Hitler did.
We've laid out the stakes in this crucial election, where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far-right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy.
Don't get me wrong. You should be angry at people suddenly making nice with Donald Trump. But instead of snooping Nelly, what about the Democratic politicians who spent 4 years calling Trump the new Adolf Hitler?
He is paving the way to become a Vladimir Putin or to become an Adolf Hitler or a Kim Jong-un. That's what he wants to be.
I'm not suggesting. I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler.
Well, I got another thing to tell you, sir.
What I know is in the early days of the Nazi regime, they started slowly but surely taking away people's rights. And what we're seeing now is the very same thing.
Think about that.
We aren't supposed to lie.
Don't think of it as lying. Think of it as high stakes pretending.
Why can't you be more like your sister Edith? She lies all the time.
No, I don't.
See? She's lying right now.
Well, there you go. There's the proof of they did call him Hitler. They continue to do that, and Pritzker is a liar. We see it, we know it, and it's ready for prime time.
The US government shutdown is now into its 30th day, and even the Democrats have had enough of Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries' unhinged demands that are holding the government and the American people to ransom.
Well, I think it doesn't solve the health insurance problem, the premium problem. I think what's a very fair deal and is open the government and let's just vote on extending these premiums for a year or more. Well, I don't understand what's so hard about that. And by the way, Senator Thune has offered that, I believe. He said we'll have he offered up a vote that we can actually have a vote on extending these premiums. I think when put to it, you're going to see Democrat and Republicans, senators and congressmen and women want to vote for that. Why would you not want to vote to extend help with these tax credits, get premiums down for people? People are getting hurt right now in their pocketbooks. They're really need help. So why not give them some help?
Outspoken Democrat Senator John Fetterman doubled down, urging his party to reflect, regroup, and reopen the government.
If you vote to shut our government down, you are going to harm millions of Americans. And why would you do this? Where's our leverage? It was wrong. It was wrong for the Republicans to do that. Absolutely, that's true. It was wrong for the Republicans to do that. It would just be wrong for us for those things.
He added in a tweet yesterday, most Americans would find it incredibly difficult to work for 5 weeks without a paycheck. This shutdown is a choice. Let's end this and pay our workers. A vote that shows principle over political party. And even CNN's Jake Tapper is pushing back on the Democrats' resistance to not play ball with the Republicans.
Should the Democratic senators from New Mexico, your home state, vote to open the government so that these SNAP funds are not at risk?
Let me be clear. The administration is choosing to starve American children with money that they already have appropriated.
I'm not applauding their
tactics.
By
the White House.
Well,
this is a choice by the White House.
This is also,
Congresswoman,
this is also a choice by Senate Democrats to not vote to open the government. Yes, it is. I understand why they're doing it.
Democrat Senator Welch was also surprisingly blasted by a CNBC host over his party's refusal to cooperate with the Republicans.
Are you ready to vote with the Republicans to reopen the government at this point as a reasonable Democrat? Maybe others would follow you.
You know, I'm not there yet because we have had literally, Joe, no discussion whatsoever about how we're going to deal with these
This is the right way to do it,
premiums.
Senator? By people not getting paychecks at the TSA? This is extortion. You think this is the right way to do it? In your conscience, you think it's the right way to do it? I never thought I'd say that, Andrew, that as a human being, he always says that. As a human being, you think this is the right thing to do? That's your line.
Well, that's why Senator Hawley and have our bill to make sure that folks get the nutrition that they absolutely need is why the president is paying the troops.
The chaos comes after Democrat Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer made a list of unhinged demands in order to reopen the government.
Just look at the wish list, the hostage list that Chuck Schumer filed weeks ago. His demands that he said have to be met before he'll even open up the government again. $1.5 trillion in new unrelated spending Chuck Schumer demanded, including, yes, eliminating all the verifications so that illegals will get taxpayer-funded health care. That's in Chuck Schumer's bill. Chuck Schumer guts the $50 billion rural hospital fund to give taxpayer-funded health benefits to illegals in his hostage demands. That's not going to happen. And so when are we going to have a rational conversation? When are Democrats going to actually become serious in this discussion where they say, let's open up the government and start talking about our differences, about how we're going to get this country back on track?
He is also demanding $4 million for LGBTQIA+ projects exposed by Speaker Johnson just yesterday.
Things like $4 million for global LGBTQI+ awareness campaigns around the world. $4 million for the LGBTQI plus democracy grants in the Balkans. They want $2 million for feminist democratic principles projects in Africa. We're not doing that. But again, the question is why?
Schumer added to this list today by demanding the GOP vote on a food stamp funding program while still refusing to open the government. House Speaker Johnson has also been on a warpath against Schumer, blasting him for not cooperating for the good of the American people.
I mean, you've heard them in their own words say the quiet parts out loud. Chuck Schumer literally said here 6 or 7 days ago that every day of the shutdown gets better for us, meaning his party. You had the number 2 ranked Democrat in the House just the other day say, yeah, we understand it's going to cause pain, but that's the only time we have leverage. They admit that they're doing this intentionally and that they want people to hurt.
And not only are politicians on both sides sick of Schumer's shutdown, so are the American people, particularly those federal workers not receiving a paycheck.
And Joe, I was stunned talking to you just before we started here. You missed your first paycheck, yet you're continuing to work.
Good morning. Yes, I did. 6 days a week, a lot of times 10 hours a day.
You're working without a paycheck?
Without a paycheck.
What kind of impact is that having on you, your family, meeting bills?
You know, the pressure is real. We go to work and we speak with people. That's all we talk about. It's a distraction. You go home to your safe place and it's a distraction there too. Deciding, prioritizing what bills are going to be paid, what's got to get cut. And it's a distraction for your home life.
And the situation has become so dire that the largest union representing American federal workers has stepped in, turning against the Democrats to demand the government reopen.
The media, of course, is always going to take the side, especially MSNBC and CNN, of the wrong side. The side of the criminal, the side of the godless, and the side of wrong. So stop listening. And as I said, if your children are out trick-or-treating, make sure they're safe. And make sure the candies that they collect are individually wrapped, and inspect those wrappers for any breaches before you let those children eat that product. Happy Halloween if we don't see you here tomorrow. We have a busy day tomorrow, and we will be on vacation for the next 2 weeks. But we will be coming to you from visits here and there that we may make on day trips and the like. So stay tuned next week. Don't fear that you won't get a full Kaiser report, but you will get a look-see here and there as Kaiser and I travel through this wonderful, wonderful, free nation as it is. So until 2 weeks from now, or until we see you from the road on daily trips, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report. We have an extensive library that you can go back and take a walk through recent history anytime you want. So God bless you all. Stay safe over this Halloween vacation and watch out for these children. And remember, pray every day for our government and for peace across this wonderful, wonderful globe. Bye-bye.
Thank you.